You don't need to be super tech savvy for you to land a remote job. You only need to know these three types of tools. Let's get started. In this video, I'm going to tell you what are the tech tools that you need to know for you to be able to work online comfortably. Now, this video is important because I realized that for somebody who has never worked online or who is not even so used to the online work field, it can be intimidating, to think about all the technology that you need to learn, to work online. And if it's one thing that keeps changing every year, it's technology. As much as many other things are changing, technology is changing a lot. And as you are going into this online work journey, I wouldn't want you to feel overwhelmed thinking that, you know what, I need to know this and that and that and that and that. Like, a lot of the tools that you will eventually pick up, you will pick them up with time. You will learn these tools from working with clients, from working with different companies, from working with different team members. And the more you work online, the more you will become familiar with those tools. But to get started, I felt like it was important to have just a structure of the key tools that you probably need to know to give you a good starting point as somebody who is new to this field. So let's organize these tools into three categories. We are going to talk about communication tools, we're going to talk about collaboration tools, and we're going to talk about just general tech tools, right? The first category of tools that you need to know are communication tools. When it comes to working online, you are working obviously remotely, so there are tools that you use to communicate with your team and your bosses and your supervisors. If you were working in person, think about it, you probably just pop in somebody's somebody's office to ask a question, or you can maybe just plan a meeting and then everybody goes to the meeting room. But when you're working remotely, it's different because you need to communicate a lot more and in a different way, even for planning meetings. So what are the key communication tools that I think you need to learn when it comes to working online if you're trying to get an online job? The first one is the Google Suite. And by the Google Suite, I mean, anything Google, right? So that includes your Gmail, that includes your Google Drive, which also goes into collaboration tools, but the entire Google Suite. So Gmail, right? Gmail, most people have a Gmail account. Some people have a Hotmail account and so forth, but Gmail is one of the most popular email software. So when it comes to communication tools, you need to be very familiar with Gmail, your Google Suite. And when I talk about Gmail, it's not just sending emails. Sending emails and receiving emails and responding to emails is a part of it, right? But learn how to schedule emails, learn how to mark them as a priority, learn how to set up follow-ups, organize inboxes, put labels, create different subfolders within your Gmail and so forth. Those are cute little tips that will actually help you stand out in specific skills categories like administrative assistant, executive assistant, any work that has to do with filing documents, organization and so forth, and even generally in your workflow when it comes to working online. In addition to the Google Suite, you also need to know, it's also good to know the Microsoft Suite. So just like you have Gmail, you also have, just like you have the Google Suite, you have the Microsoft Suite, which is the same suite of products but from Microsoft, right? So that's where you get your Outlook, you get your Microsoft Publisher, your Microsoft this, Microsoft that, Microsoft this, Microsoft that, right? So the entire Google Suite is kind of similar to the Microsoft Suite, but it's just two different service providers. Some companies prefer the Google Suite, some companies prefer the Microsoft Suite. It really depends on who you end up working with, but it's good to have a good grasp of how these apps work together for you to feel confident and just be able to operate within online teams. So those are your communication tools. In addition to that, communication tools, you also have I forgot to mention the calendars, right? So Google Calendars. For Microsoft, you have Microsoft Calendars for scheduling appointments, scheduling meetings, planning meetings and so forth. In addition to that, you also have the live meeting apps. So for example, for Google it's going to be Google Meet, which is the meeting app that is built in Google, that Google promotes. And then for Microsoft, it's going to be Microsoft Teams. So it's important for you to kind of be familiar with those things. And even if you've never had the opportunity to work with those, just look it up, go on YouTube to figure out how it works, download it if you can, familiarize yourself with it, play around a little bit, so at least when you're applying for jobs, you can say that you're familiar with these different apps. Now, we're still talking about communication. I talk about those different meeting apps, but you also have Zoom, which is one of the most popular meeting apps right now. And Zoom has totally escalated in the pandemic. Zoom just became the app that, everything was happening on Zoom. A lot of apps went out of business because, Zoom was really just kind of skyrocketing. And you know what? Rightfully so, they did their thing. So Zoom is something that you absolutely need to know when it comes to working online. You need to know how to start a Zoom meeting, how to create a Zoom meeting, how to join a Zoom meeting, how to turn your camera on, turn your camera off, turn your mic on, turn your mic off. I know one of the most popular things that people see on Zoom is your mic, you are on mute, right? That was a joke post pandemic. But you need to know how to use Zoom, how to blur your background, how to change your background, the different reactions, how to change, how to react, how to clap, how to get meeting notes started. These things they might seem a little bit like details, but they are really important, especially when it comes to like even doing interviews with online job, online work, employers, but also in your first few days. You need to show a certain level of agility with these different apps, because essentially, because these are so popular in the remote work field, they're not necessarily going to teach you how to use those, but they're going to expect you to learn how to use those. And the good thing is, if you just look it up online and try to play around with these apps, you actually are going to get a good grasp of them. So that is for the remote work communication tools. Now let's talk about the collaboration tools. Even though some of these apps and some of these different tools that I shared are also kind of embedded into collaboration, there are also specific other collaboration tools that you need to know, like file sharing tools, right? And project management or collaboration software. So file sharing tools include things like Dropbox, which is very popular. Dropbox is good for file sharing large files and small files. You also have the Google Apps where you can share files like Google Drive and so forth. You also have different apps like Swiss Transfer, WeTransfer that people can use to share files online, right? Especially larger files. In addition to that, I also want to talk about collaboration tools online, and they also kind of embedded into communication tools as well. But it's good for you to learn them. You have so let me talk about this collaboration and communication / project management tools, right? So we have popular platforms and popular tools like Slack. Slack is kind of like the WhatsApp group chat for work, essentially, right? You know how you have the WhatsApp group chat for families, right? Slack is a WhatsApp group chat for work. And then on Slack, you can have different sub-chats based on different work projects or different teams that are within your work team. So Slack is a popular tool among entrepreneurs, among larger businesses, bigger companies, and it's important for you to kind of have a notion of what Slack is, how it operates, and what makes it super unique. You don't have to know 100% everything about Slack, because honestly, you're going to learn it as you go along, but you need to know, you need to have a good overview of what Slack is and how it operates. The other similar tool that I would probably say is Slack. Which one would it be? Nothing is coming to mind right now, but if something comes to mind, maybe I will do a separate video on that. But under the guise of collaboration tools, I also wanted to talk about key project management tools that are very important when it comes to working online. And the three that are coming to mind are Asana, ClickUp, and Trello. Now Trello, which I listed last, is one of the popular tools that it was actually one of the first project management tools that I used when I was working, even not even working online, but managing my own teams and working with my own remote teams, right? And Trello is great because it helps you to organize things in different projects. You have different cards and you can actually set deadlines, assign tasks to people, change the colors of your boards, follow up on tasks and so forth. So Trello is one of the popular project management tools and collaboration tools that people use online. Asana is also another one which is similar to Trello, but it has a few more functionalities. And you also have ClickUp, which has even more functionalities. It's a fuller suite, and it also has a lot of perks, but it's that similar category of collaboration and project management tools. These tools are really important because when you are working with people across a team, you tend to work sometimes on the same projects, and you want to see how the projects are progressing. So so people can set updates on what they are doing on their projects, how things are progressing, and you're actually able to see it in real time, and that really helps when it comes to remote work teams. Now, the last category of tools that I want to talk about are just the general tech tools that I want to talk about. I will put in a few things that I'm just thinking of. The first one is your AI tools, right? Any AI tool that you can learn right now in this economy, in this industry, in this society is going to be helpful for you because, sorry, my 9 o'clock alarm. Any AI tool that you learn right now in this industry, in this economy, is going to be super helpful for you right now, because AI is now like everywhere, and companies are trying to be AI forward, tech forward. So learning AI, or at least being familiar with the type of AI, is really going to put you on edge and put you above when it comes to like selecting applicants compared to somebody who does not use AI. Now, ChatGPT is the most common AI tool that almost everybody uses. Some people even use ChatGPT for therapy, and no judgment here. And that is a really good tool to have, to know how to use. How you need to know like how to give ChatGPT some prompts. How to use the information that ChatGPT gives you to actually work or do your work. Other AI tools also include, Gemini, which is kind of like similar to ChatGPT. You have other tools like Perplexity for research and so forth. So there is a wide range of AI tools, but I would say if you are just getting started, familiarize yourself with ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity. And that can be as simple as just like using the free versions of these tools, or watching a few YouTube videos on how to use these tools to just kind of like have that idea. And then finally, I want to talk about just like general tech tools, like having devices. So maybe I should actually do a separate video on that, like having a good computer that can like, and by good computer I mean a computer where you can read emails, send emails, hop on calls, so you have a functioning camera, or if you don't have a camera on your computer, you can attach a camera. Good audio, good video quality, having good lighting wherever you are, and having a good internet connection. And honestly, when you have that set up and you have these tools already in your arsenal, in your portfolio, you're set. Like, you can get started working online. Now, let me know what you think about this video. If you have any questions about what other tools you should learn, I'm happy to do a part 2 of this video. But I think it's going to be necessary to actually do a remote work setup video. Maybe later on. Let me know if you're interested in that. Happy to do so. And yeah, another reminder that my remote work fast track accelerator is kicking off on November 1st. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I'm going to put the link in the description box, the link in the comments of this video, and see you tomorrow for the next video.